Now, I told you we're not going to talk at great length ad infinitum about the coronavirus, about the presidential race and what have you. We're going to go to what I call the toy department, sports. A lot of things have happened. The Dodgers and the Lakers have brought world championships for the first time in the same year since 1988 to Los Angeles. And we got a real treat for you. Doug Krikorian, whom I've known since 1968, one of the premier sports writers of all time, kind enough to give us his insights. And we're going to talk primarily about what we saw in the World Series, specifically Game 6, when the manager of Tampa Bay inexplicably took out a pitcher who was pitching like Sandy Koufax that night. So we'll start with Doug. I think you'll enjoy it. A little better than talking about politics. We'll talk more about that next week. There'll be plenty of time for that, believe me. So sit back, pull up a chair, as old Vinny would say, and enjoy Doug and I talking about sports, what it was like, what it could be like, what it will be like, and we'll see you next week. For those of you who don't remember Doug writing, one of the best writers ever, no doubt about that. So you're writing the column. You're covering the World Series. You're there, right. Game 6. What's your opening line in your story?
It would have been satirical somehow. It was something about. It would have centered around Cash's decision. That's for sure. Mm-hmm. And what like I did with Gene Mauch when he took out. Who did he take out?
He took out Witt.
Mike Witt said, "I was never throwing a fastball that hard in my life." Were you there that day?
I was there.
What the adrenaline? We're talking about 19, I believe.
86.
86.
Yep.
There was 2 outs. No one's on base. The Angels are going to win the pennant for the first time. And out walks. Well, it wasn't Mauch didn't, but he sent out. What is the guy? I can't remember. One of his coaches.
Pitching coach. Took him out. Took him out of the game.
His brother later became manager.
Latchman. Rene, yeah.
Rene Latchman.
Took him out.
Or he became, And he took him out, and they lost the game. Henderson hit a 2-run home run.
The only good part about this is that if they weren't such knuckleheads and made these idiotic decisions, we wouldn't have all this fun talking about it.
No, they wouldn't.
You and I love baseball. You've covered every World Series since what year?
I just know I covered, 30 of them, 73, 74.
Okay,
70,
so you saw the great pitchers. Were you like me when you watched Game 6 and I yelled out, "They're ruining the game"?
Absolutely. When Kevin Cash took him out, I said to myself, "Is this guy nuts? Does he see that Blake? What's his name?
Snell.
Blake Snell, of course, the great pitcher. He was having one of those zone nights where everything was going right, Dave. Everything was going right, and he takes him out because he didn't want his big thing. I don't want to see Blake Snell see that lineup for the 3rd time. They were happy that he left.
To me, they're almost ruining the game.
Well, they are. Where's the entertainment value? Can you imagine Casey Stengel taking out Don Larson during his perfect game?
Because he didn't want to face the third.
I believe it was 1956 against the Brooklyn Dodgers. Or what about Walter Austin taking out Johnny Padres, 22-year-old left-hander, shut out the Yankees in Game 7 at Yankee Stadium in 55, right?
Yeah, right.
2-0.
Yeah.
What if he took him out in the 5th, 6th inning and brought in whoever the relief pitcher was then? It wasn't Larry Sherry.
Koufax pitched on 2 days rest, Game 7 of the 66 World Series.
Yeah, 1965.
65, I'm sorry, yeah.
What you love about baseball is the subtleties and nuances involved, the hit and run. The bunt with in the 9th inning, you bunt the guy to second base, and everything. Those are gone. You don't bunt anymore, hit and run anymore.
Lowest ever since they've been broadcasting World Series. Yeah. This Dodger Tampa Bay World Series was the lowest rated ever.
Yeah, well, what's happened? The young kids aren't watching it anymore. They're just not watching it.
It's too boring.
And the grown-ups, I know a few of my friends. One of them, I'll say it publicly, Larry Kahn, who's an NFL broadcaster.
Mm-hmm.
Larry will not watch a baseball game. He says, "That's not the game of my youth. I don't want to watch it. I'm not interested in watching 4 hours of pitchers trudging in and out of the lineup, and guys striking out." And that's basically what the game's become.
Yeah, it has. I read in the paper, in the 1963 World Series, the Dodgers used 4 pitchers the whole series.
The whole series?
The whole series. They used Koufax, Drysdale, Padres, and Peronoski.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
That's pretty amazing.
I think Tampa Bay used 4 pitchers in 4 pitches.
Yeah, well, the last game, the Dodgers, I think, used 7, didn't
Same
they?
thing. Yeah, so what's the solution, Doug? Is baseball changed forever?
I don't think there's any going back. Things that change this dramatically, how are you going to... there's analytic people in every organization now. The Red Sox have been taken over. Bloom, the guy from Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
He's in Boston. The Red Sox are going to play like that now. And, it was refreshing to see the Astros. I shouldn't even say that here in Southern California. His manager, Dusty Baker, he made some old-time moves that helped him at least to win 3 games against Tampa Bay.
Yeah, well, he's about the last of the old-time managers.
That's right.
But are they still going to pack the park? Are people still going to go?
No. Well, in places like Los Angeles and probably in Boston and Chicago, but a lot of other places are going to be hurting. I mean, why would you want to see this brand of baseball after a while?
No.
But the young kids coming up, they won't know any difference. See, we remember how it used to be played. You remember Sandy Koufax in Game 7 of the '65 World Series. And he's great. I was there, of course, in Minnesota. John Smoltz and Jack Morris, 1-0, 10 innings.
Yeah, and
great
both guys went the full game.
Those duels are gone. I mean, that's part of the entertainment. Tim Kirchner wrote a great column or said it on the air on ESPN afterwards. They're ruining the game, and they are. They are. They really are. Like you just said, the ratings are going down. All this shifting, and I don't know. It's just not baseball.
You're the commissioner. What do you do to stop all of the stuff we're seeing in baseball now? What rule do you put in?
I would put it implement that they could only make shifts maybe 3 times a game.
Okay.
I don't like those shifts.
Okay.
It messes up the game. What else would I do?
Could you force a manager once he starts an inning with a pitcher?
Yeah.
Can't take him out.
Yeah,
Was that too
not
drastic?
the whole game. You can't do
No,
that.
No. And when the reliever
they have
comes
the
in.
3-out rule.
But that's not enough. That's not enough.
I know that. I know.
Yeah.
I agree with you. No, I can't. I wouldn't do that. And I'm calling him an idiot. Is this Kevin Cash? What is going through his head? Tommy Lasorda pitched in Edenford. People make mistakes. I mean, that's part of being a manager. We all make mistakes.
Yeah.
Am I right? I mean,
of course.
You make mistakes. I make mistakes. They all do. But this wasn't a mistake. This is pure idiocy on his part. Am I right?
It was
moronic.
It was one of the worst decisions I've ever seen. If they really feel that they won that fair and square, I would give Cash a winner's share.
Oh, absolutely. And at least a big Christmas card. And what's funny about
because they don't win, Doug. If they don't take them out, they don't win that game.
No, you're right. And what's funny about Kevin Cash, his post-game comment exceeded his decision. He said, "I don't regret the decision. I regret the outcome." What are you talking about? Did he see? He played 8 years in the major leagues. Didn't he see what the guy was doing?
And he was a catcher.
But he saw how he was pitching.
It was crazy. Okay, Lakers. You've covered all the great Laker teams.
Yep.
How good is LeBron?
This is probably a blasphemy right here. I think after what he achieved this year, and I know it's a truncated season and all that, I rank him beyond Jordan right now. I do.
You do?
He's been in 9 NBA Finals. Who's like LeBron? I mean, he beat a team when he was with the Cleveland Cavaliers that had won 74 games or 73 games. Golden State.
And
he has 4 NBA
3-1,
championships. They could talk about all his failings, considering his body of work, 19 seasons, what he's accomplished. I think he's the greatest basketball player of all time. I've said that after. And I know you look at me funny. You say, Doug, what are you, crazy?
Well, no, I mean, because I asked somebody.
What he's accomplished. 9 NBA Finals he's been.
I asked somebody, I said, okay, you got Kobe.
Yeah.
You got...
whom, by the way, I love, and I put among the top 5 or 6 players of all time. No doubt about it.
My question was, you got Kobe, you got Jordan, and you got LeBron, and you're going to start a team, and you get one of those 3 in their prime.
Yeah.
You take LeBron?
Yeah, I would.
Okay, you take LeBron over
Yeah, I
Jordan.
would. I actually would. He's playing at a level right now. He knows. I agree. There was 10, 12 years. There were definitely liabilities in LeBron, but now he shoots free throws perfectly.
Oh, he's phenomenal.
What a passer! He passes like magic now. He drives to the basket. He hits 3-pointers. Okay, be negative with him. Be Skip Bayless with me. Skip.
I don't see how you can. I don't see how you can because he comes down the court and he's either going to score or get fouled.
I agree.
Every time.
He played as well in this series against Miami as he played his whole career.
No, it was phenomenal. It was a phenomenal performance.
Unbelievable. What about the game they lost when he scored that 40 point? He was phenomenal.
It was unbelievable, breathtaking. I mean, he certainly was a man with a mission. I mean, he came to L.A. with the idea of doing this.
Right.
The year he got hurt was unfair. I mean, he really got a bad injury, and he just wasn't LeBron, but he certainly proved it this year.
And by the way, another achievement of LeBron, he turned a soft guy prone to injury all the time, a guy named Anthony Davis.
Oh, yeah.
Who was basically a dog in a lot of games down in New Orleans.
Oh, he was
Believe
terrible.
me.
Yeah, he was awful.
Okay, and he played a little doggish in their two losses, especially the last one. You remember the last one?
Yeah.
But he played his posterior off with LeBron. LeBron makes his players play unselfishly.
Yeah.
Am I right or wrong?
No. He
Look
took
what
over.
he does. He's great now.
No.
You know, they could say what they want. I've never seen a guy like this.
What do you think? 2 more years at his peak like this?
Who knows with that body? I mean, look at Tom Brady, 43, and Tom Brady right now looks like he's 32 again.
It's amazing.
Am I right?
No, it's amazing.
I mean, I was watching him last week. Who'd they play last week? He threw 4 touchdowns.
Is there any other quarterback? Again, NFL. You cover the Rams as
Raiders.
long as
Brady faced the Raiders.
I mean, you and I remember the Rams way back in the Ferragamo days
Absolutely.
and the whole bit and all that.
Remember, I covered it during the 70s.
Yeah.
John Hadel and Roman Gabriel.
Yeah, the whole bit. Yeah. But the idea what Brady's doing is it defies everything.
It's 43, David.
Yeah.
I mean, Favre was done at 41. Blandon was amazing at 44. Remember, but he only kicked field goals, and he came in for like a few, as a substitute.
Right. He had that one streak where he kicked like 5 game-winning field goals in a row that one year.
Brady.
He was Brady's too much.
Last week against the Raiders in Las Vegas, he was incredible. 4 touchdowns, and he scored one himself.
Yeah.
Right on target the whole game.
Yeah. Is sports as much fun today as it was when you were in your peak covering it?
For someone like me, it's funny. That's a very good question. I mean, I don't ever want to sound like an old fogey. The good old days. The good old days aren't. I mean, it's pretty. The athletes today. I mean, I compare. Like the Rams, how many of those players could have played with the Rams that I covered with the Herald Examiners in the 70s? Probably none of them could.
No.
I mean, Joe Schiavelli weighed 245. Kenny Hyman, my good friend Kenny's a center. He weighed 250 or 240. You understand what I'm saying? These guys could play today.
No.
Coy Bacon, we thought Coy Bacon was huge. He weighed about 260. Now Deacon was big. Deacon was 275, and Merlin was big.
Right.
But those players for their time, were very good. But I think that's interesting. Is it? I still enjoy sports. I swore I wasn't going to watch the NBA because these phony seasons,
Right.
And I got into it. I watched every game, every World Series game, and I don't know. Sports, it changes, but for a guy like me, my DNA is sports, so I'm still going to watch it.
I know.
And you haven't asked me about my favorite sport, boxing.
Well.
First off, I don't buy any of these pay-per-views because they're all preordained.
Okay.
There's 1 or 2, we know who's going to win.
Sure.
The other night, Davis won, and the Filipino kid, Naon,
right.
They won. We knew they were going to win before. So I'm going to pay $72 for that? No, I'm not going to do it. All the good fights, there's great fights to be had. And the best fighter in the world, without a doubt, is a guy named, I've told you about him, Terrence Crawford. He's the best fighter in the world. Best I've seen since Ray Leonard. Can't get a fight. No one to fight him. And I actually don't blame him because it'd knock him out. But in the old days, they fought each other. You remember? Leonard fought Hearns. Leonard fought with the Montreal covered.
Made a fortune.
Made Duran. But I mean, for when Leonard went to Montreal and fought Duran, I mean, he was taking a chance. I mean, Duran was 81-1 at the time, and Leonard was 15-0 or 20-0, and he went there and went 15 rounds and he lost. I had Duran winning by a point.
We can go on and on and on forever. I mean, we got Don King stories that'll fill an hour and a half, right? This is why we wanted to get away from the election. You're going to have enough of that. When I was working in sports, we always called it the toy department. And I think we had a great time today, and I thank you for your time.
And I want to thank you, and I want to give you a tribute. There's a cultural deprivation in the broadcasting business these days without the charismatic and golden presence of one David Lopez, whom I have known since, I believe, 1968. Embarrassing.
We first met in 1968.
You were just a kid, little sports writer from
Huntington Park Signal.
Huntington Park. Yeah,
I was 20 years old. I was covering the Rams because Cliff Gawicki didn't want to go to the games on Sunday. Yeah. I was up in that press box, and I was in heaven.
Yeah.
A lot of fun.
I remember that.
A lot of fun.
I remember you well because you came up to me one time and we started talking. Never. It's funny. You don't. You get a relationship with it, and we remained friends all those years. All those years.
A lot of great names, a lot of great memories, a lot of great moments. Doug, thanks. A lot of fun.
Thank you,
take
David.
care.
Always a pleasure, and I'll do it again with you.